Welcome, everyone. This is the Who's Your Neighbor show. And this is I forget what episode, somewhere around 17 or 18. This is March the 22nd, 2022. I'm your host, Terry McGill. It is my absolute greatest pleasure to be able to introduce you to two Dow Healing Hands practitioners. Make sure I get the name right. This is just an absolutely wonderful complementary healing method. And I'm going to ask Victoria Swan from, I call it Tucson, Arizona, to join us first. Welcome, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, I'm so honored and happy to be here, Terry.
Wonderful. So you are a Dow Healing Hands practitioner.
I am.
Wonderful. And the practitioner part is you meet with, what's the range of the ability of Dow Healing Hands to offer blessings?
Well, really, it's most incredible because it works on a level where we can work on almost every issue that there is. Literally, we could. So we could work on people, we could work on animals, and we can work on physical health. We can work on relationships because everything has a soul, and that's the level at which we work on relationships, finances, particular health issues or conditions, family relations.
It's the core of whatever it is, whether it's a human being or an animal or your wallet, your bank account.
Yes, absolutely.
Because would you share a couple of your experiences using Dow Healing Hands?
I'd be very happy to. I have a wonderful, sweet story with using them on my mother's pet. She's a mix of Chihuahua and Jack Russell. She's about 10 years old. My mom has had her for about 8 years. She was a rescue dog, and she was very just very fearful. It doesn't look like she was abused, but just very attached to my mother's ankles. Just never left my mother. And now I have moved in with my mother to help take care of her. She's getting on in age. And this dog just adores me, but she does not want to leave my mother. And so I have used the Dow Healing Hands for relaxing, for release of tension, for feeling more comfortable. Even though she literally adores me, she can't wag her tail fast enough when I walk in the room, but yet she won't come and sit with me. She doesn't want to be picked up by anybody, really. So I offer her the hands. I remember one of the first times I met her, she just trembles. She just trembles. And so I sat nearby and I checked, and I offered her the hands for, I would say, about 5 minutes. Just, I didn't do anything, but she would notice. And slowly I could see that she was relaxing. Her legs were relaxing, and she didn't look so like frozen. When they're scared, their eyes might move around, but their bodies are quite still, except for the shaking. And she slowly relaxed and just sort of slumped into the couch. She always sits next to my mom on the couch. So it was really sweet to see. And then I came over to pet her, and she didn't recoil. She often would sort of cower, she knows I'm not going to hurt her, but that's just how she was. And now she doesn't do that at all with me. She never shakes anymore. And she doesn't cower. I actually could pick her up once in a while, but not that often. And, she doesn't like that. But it really was quite a change, and it was quite rapid, I think. It didn't take very long.
Wow. Thank you.
It must have relieved a lot of, stress. Maybe past experiences were released, possibly, her reactions.
What about someone else or something else?
Well, I love children, and I love this story. I'm sure everyone who has been in a plane has heard children who are not very happy, and you could hear their voices pretty much throughout the whole plane. And I was on a flight that was a bit bumpy, actually. And there was a child that was just nonstop, almost like terrified, or, I mean, it was really like screeching. And I felt so bad for the parents because usually they're the ones that suffer the most. uh, and so I offered the child and the parents Dow Healing Hands together so the family unit could calm down. And I would say within 30 seconds, the level of screeching diminished quite significantly, and then enough to really notice. And then slowly the child just, it was slowly, like, the matter of another 30 seconds. It's not that slow, but you could tell that it was slowing down, and soon that child was quiet.
30 seconds and 30 seconds is
I would say.
I would call that almost instant.
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Because I've been on airplanes, and I bet our viewers have too, when there's a distressed child there. So you mentioned holding hands with a parent?
No. I also sent the blessing to the parents.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
I included the child and the parents.
That's a good thing.
Because the parents get upset,
For sure. I had the same thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was terrific, and so I do that all the time now. Or if I notice passengers who seem agitated. Some are easygoing, some get a little agitated from the flight, and so I offer them blessings if it seems appropriate.
Wonderful.
It's a huge help. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. We have one other Dow Healing. Yes, and we're going to put this over in the chat room. Our wonderful engineer in the background that you can't see does all this magical stuff, and she's going to put your name and your contact information, Tucson, Arizona. The only way that I can remember how to spell it is to pronounce it Tucson.
Yeah, me too. But in Spanish,
it's the only one then.
We say that in Spanish. So
I notice we have one of our old friends online from, I think, Virginia, who's congratulating you, saying wonderful service and thank you for sharing. Yeah. So we have another Dow Healing Hands practitioner also, and let's ask her to join us now. Hello, Catherine, and it looks like you're muted right now.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Victoria was backstage listening to this. So awesome. I love being a Dow Hands practitioner, and I love the ability to offer blessings on an airplane to a distressed child. I have done that more than once. And the parents in that moment are like, yes, please.
Yeah, it's magnificent.
So, Catherine, do you absolutely only specialize in pets, or do you also work with the rest of us?
I work with everybody.
Uh-huh.
I really, for some reason, as I started to heal myself with Dow Healing Hands, because I had some physical issues, this ability to connect with animals and to be in that connection with them and to use my spiritual channels to connect with them just came out so strong, really through healing myself through Dow Hands and the other amazing resources and the beautiful community and support that comes with being a Dow Hands practitioner. I was able to really physically heal myself, which really brought all these other gifts and connections forward in a special way. So I am now specializing in animals, but the animals bring who need the healing to you, right? Because people will do anything for their pets. So I think it's just another way of the animals serving us, connecting us to what we need to receive also.
Well, would you share a couple of pet healing stories with us?
Yes. So I will share a couple. I have so many because I've been doing this for many, many years. Actually, I think this year is my 10th year anniversary this month.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yay, I'm so grateful. I don't know what I would do with my life if I didn't have this ability that was gifted to me to facilitate these shifts, especially for animals. And what I've noticed, I just want to mention to help connect everybody to this healing that's happening on the soul level, on the spiritual level, also on the level of frequency and vibration and energy. Animals are amazing communicators through frequency and vibration. They communicate to the frequency and vibrational field of everyone and everything all the time. This is how they receive information, and this is what I've learned. So this type of healing with them is so amazing. One thing I wanted to share, because I think a lot of people over the last few years have gotten new animal companions to join their family.
Sure have the last 2 years.
And also there's a lot of animal companions leaving, transitioning, going over the rainbow bridge, and sometimes both are happening at the same time or one after the other. So I wanted to share this. This is going to seem simple, but for all of you who have animal companions who do not get along, this will be very, you will understand this. So I had 2 animal companions. They were clients of mine. And they were not getting along. They just were kind of always after each other, not in a like super violent, life-threatening way, but in a really disharmony. It was creating so much disharmony, and like so much energy had to be spent on like trying to navigate this for them and for the family. And they also had a new baby. So I came over and I did a little reading and I offered a blessing for their relationship. And the next morning I woke up, I received a picture of them sleeping on top of each other.
Wow.
So it was the relationship of the 2 animals with each other.
Yes.
And then they're sleeping on each other.
And for the very first time, I mean, the person who takes care of these animal companions was just like, she sent it to me with like exclamation points, like, can you believe this? And I was like, is that not normal for them? And she's like, no, this has never happened before. And they, they weren't brand new to each other, but they were, within 6 months or something new to each other, or maybe a little longer than that. So to have that harmony between the 2 of them, and recently I checked in on them, they're still like getting along, having a fun time. So that's great.
Overnight miracle.
Yeah, I think so.
I would call it that.
Yeah.
I had 2 cats once. We got our older cat. It was named Meander because that's all it did. It did not move fast, and it was getting overweight. Cut its food back. It still looked like it was gaining weight. So we got a young cat that wanted to play, and Meander did not. And it took months for them to, harmonize. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they just end up living separately in the household too. But this has happened for many different animal companions. I have lots of that story. The other one is, so many animal companions go through, they really take on what we're going through, right? And there's a lot going on right now. So they're going to also be going through that. But I think separation anxiety is such a huge thing for animals, and just anxiety in general. They can imagine being able to be so tuned into to Mother Earth and what's happening and the humans around you and everything with the emotional. I mean, they can tell when someone's sad. They can tell when someone's about to have a seizure if they're taught to tune into that, right? That's how amazing their ability to connect on this level, and also on the spiritual level, is blessing for anxiety, to heal and transform anxiety. Huge. And, when you have an animal who's anxious all the time and then they're not after a blessing or 2, or however many it takes, sometimes it's just one session. It is a true miracle. Like, I love getting those messages that are like, and I've seen it with my own dog because I have a Chihuahua, and everyone's like, he's the calmest Chihuahua ever. Yeah, because this is what he's been experiencing his whole life.
Is that the dog that I saw with you earlier?
Yeah.
He's a very wise dog.
Yeah, he's received a lot. Back when they were offering it to animals too.
Oh, what a cutie.
So he has divine healing pods and all kinds of, make sure we take care of your journey, huh?
Look at those ears. Wow.
Mhm.
And the other big one is, any of the emotions. There's so many stories about the animals. I know you asked for specific ones, but I just want to give people an idea of how actually this can impact your animal companions. Is absolutely amazing. The other one I'll share quickly is a woman was having a hard time. She inherited a dog when her brother passed away, and she was having a hard time walking him without there being dog aggression to other dogs. So we received messages on what she needed to do to help him, offered a blessing, and it was never an issue again.
Wow.
Amazing.
Well, I would like to ask you both and offer you an opportunity to offer Dow Healing Hands blessing to a friend of mine who has an older dog with some health issues. Would you like that?
Oh, I'd love to. Yes.
Wonderful. So if Lori and Honeybee can, hello.
Honeybee.
So Lori, thank you
Hello,
so
everyone.
much. And that's Honeybee.
Hi.
Say hi. Say hi, honeybee.
Hi, Honeybee.
How old is Honeybee?
Honeybee is like 12 or 13. She's a senior rescue. I rescued her when she was 9 years old, and she was my birthday present to myself. I just want to give an older dog some loving last days. They kind of told me they thought she lasted about 9 months, and we're going on I don't know if it's 4 or 5 years this year,
Oh,
but she's just started not feel recently with her breathing, panting a lot, and actually even will just pass out. She'll pass out and cry and pass out on the floor. So um, Terry invited me today to see about Dow Hands I might be able to help Honeybee with.
Well, Victoria and Catherine, please do whatever it is that you do. It sounds like you have permission.
I think we do. I'd be very, very happy to offer.
And did you have a request? Sorry, the sound was cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh, sorry about that. Just Dow Hands for her being. I know she's getting older, and I know this issue where she passes out and doesn't
Breathing.
feel good. And yes, she does
Okay.
have trouble breathing, and she stops breathing when she passes out. So it's the passing out and the breathing, and I just want her to be comfortable and happy.
Okay.
Right.
So we're just going to give a silent blessing, Victoria.
Yeah.
So I'm in Colorado. Victoria's in Arizona. We're going to connect to Lori and Honeybee, who are in Oregon,
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. And we're going to offer a blessing. So everyone can close their eyes if you'd like to.
So the distance doesn't make a difference then.
It doesn't. There's no time and no space. That's what's so brilliant. So we've been able to serve so many people over this time that we've all been separated in such beautiful ways. Yeah. All right. So we'll prepare, and then I'll just say blessing starts, and everybody can relax. And Honeybee, we love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Everyone say it. Send Honeybee lots of love. Okay, you ready, Victoria?
I'm ready.
All right. Blessing for Honeybee, as appropriate, starts. And I like to say the word how when I'm finished, which means perfect, get well. How,
Yeah.
thank you. Very loved, honeybee.
Yes. Very sweet heart, sweet soul.
So how
She
do we
has been a
know
very
if something happened?
We trust. Yeah.
Well, it can take some time, and also for seizures and all, they don't happen regularly. So it would be a matter of noticing that they're not happening, and also she might feel, um, more energetic, more likely to move around.
Yeah, Lori, did you experience anything at all? You're holding her.
I sure did. When you started the blessing, I completely relaxed. I was holding her, and when talking about her not feeling well, makes me a little anxious myself, and so my anxiety went away. And then when you started the blessing about the middle, she completely relaxed into my body. Just
Wow.
completely relaxed. So obviously something very wonderful happening, and she just warmed to it, and kind of I don't know. I felt like she just felt really, really warm.
Well, that's one way to tell. This is what's great about the animals, is my experience is they often do have us experience something with them a lot, like whether they're relaxed or they lay down and they go to sleep, or something happens during the blessing, right when it starts to when it ends. Yeah.
They're pretty transparent. They don't like try to hide something
They're
or
just responding to the vibration and the frequency, because that's just what they do. Yeah. So another way to tell is we can check back in with Lori and Honeybee. And one way that I can tell as a practitioner is I could see and experience some things through my mind's eye or my spiritual eye. And I received a few messages. So
Would you share?
sure. And also I felt really tingly. I don't know if Victoria experienced anything.
oh, yeah, it was pretty profound.
Yeah. I felt really tingly, and you could just tell she was so grateful. Just this washing over. I really actually got to offer it to her whole metal element. And for those of you who are familiar at all with Chinese medicine and the theory of Chinese medicine, she's looking at us. The metal element is related to the lungs, the respiratory system, grief and sadness, courage, and the skin, to name a few. So I actually got to offer her for all that element. So whatever within those things she needed, I saw the light come and illuminate her skin. I also saw, um, you might notice her breathing. It might have shifted even just now. I don't know if you can tell, but I noticed it clearing out, releasing stuff that looks, a little different in color than the light out of her lung area. And I also saw some clarity coming to her mind, so that she has a different understanding, because it does bring in that love, that light, that compassion, the forgiveness that the Dow hands carry from the source, also brings in that wisdom. So when that clears, we're able to receive really the wisdom and the connection in a different way. And so I saw that happening for her, actually. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when she eliminates next time, if that is different too. She's been having a hard time eliminating a little bit. Yeah. And maybe, Lori, I don't know if you've been going through had some grief come up for you in your life recently from loss, but I got that you're really doing this together.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my husband had a really bad car accident. I didn't with him, but last year he had a really bad car accident, and so it kind of got me off center in the grief thing, and our lives changed, and when it's someone that you love, and they need help and caring for and everything, it kind of hurts a little bit, and so that that thing kind of precursed.
Well,
It happened first, and then
yeah, we can grieve just the change in life too. Yeah, when something shit like that drastically changes things. And it's the courage to connect to that came in.
That's
I just want
that's
to
a wonderful perspective on a healing for breathing, more than breathing, grief and courage and skin and elimination. Yeah. So, Lori, if you would just keep me updated, I'd love to pass back to Catherine and Victoria.
Oh,
Um,
that's wonderful.
yeah, what's going on with Honeybee?
And I would like to thank both of you for using this long distance amazing, because I felt it. I felt it myself. Long distance amazing assistance, this warm healing hands that you guys have for Honeybee. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, we feel very blessed to be able to offer this. You know?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
An honor.
Does she look different to anybody else?
Yeah, I think so. Well, and Laurie too.
She's a lot calmer to me.
She looks shinier to me. I really did get, that her skin was part of it. So I don't know. She just looks real calm and almost like she's smiling.
She's definitely smiling. I see a smile there. And her eyes are bigger and brighter. And she's much more at peace in my arms. So
That's wonderful.
definitely
Good
happy.
job, Honeybee.
So, for all of those that are viewing now or who view this in the future, we have both Victoria and Catherine's contact information in the chat. And so, when people view this in the future, they'll be able to, if it's actually remote, so it doesn't matter where you live, whether it's Arizona, Colorado, or Coronado, Spain. Wonderful. Well, I'm so happy, Lori, that you accepted the invitation. And Victoria and Catherine, thank you so much for sharing these gifts that you have, and making a visible difference in one small dog.
Oh, thank you so much, Terry. So good to connect with you, and you too, Victoria.
Yes, Catherine and Laurie and Terry. It's really an honor to be able to participate in this, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. So what I want to do now is we're going to post over in the chat room, and our background engineer may be able to put it up here on the screen too. I'm not sure. But if you're interested in learning more about, what is Dow Healing Hands, you've seen something about it, a short glimpse. There certainly was a difference in it was Honeybee, a cute name for a dog. There is there we go. I'm seeing it. Nope, I don't. That was a post over there. There we go. There's the link. So it's 5 levels of something or other. I can't read it. There we go. It's in front of me now. 5 levels of creation, Portland.com. So this is where you can receive in-depth information about the 3 pathways or levels of Dow Healing Hands. There's a first level where it's for personal healing. The second level is to be able to heal others. And then the third level is what Victoria and Catherine have, the whole enchilada, finances. I heard somebody the other day said that their washing machine hadn't been working, and it was more expensive to get repaired than buy a new one, but they didn't have the money to do either. And so they gave it a Dow Healing Hands blessing and started running again. Candidly, I would like to see that, but there's so many of these stories that I've heard now, and if you're interested, I invite you to share. And if I remember correctly, there's the opportunity to receive a free Dow Healing Hands blessing for yourself on that landing page. So that's the that's the whole, speaking of food, that's the whole enchilada for today. And I'm Terry McGill, Portland, Oregon. Doesn't matter where, we're an international community. This is Who's Your Neighbor? And until next Tuesday night, introduce yourself. Find out who is your neighbor. Good night.